hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks radiance, give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. Yeah, you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy for the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my hand.
Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday to you. Welcome to the show, wherever in the world you are joining in from. Thank you for taking the time and making Point of View your destination. I am Bobby Munson, and joined by that man right there, Mr. Mark Robson. Mark talks a lot. Mark, how's it going?
I am, what is the word? Extremely tired. I think that's probably the right word to put. But no, it's been interesting since the last time we had the Euros final.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and then we've had some football transfers. We've just seen Formula One fans. We've just seen Lando Norris come second with Oscar Piastri and Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton becoming the first driver ever in Formula One history to get 200 podium positions. And we've got the England. You just can't see it because it's cropped it out. But I have the England cricket on playing West Indies right now. So it's one of those. It's nice to have sport on. Let's put it. And we haven't got long now until the Olympics start as well. Looking forward to that. But no, it's been a very busy week of pro wrestling. We watched MLW last week.
We did.
Still can't get over one of it. As you could tell last night, if you watched the post show, I couldn't get over one of them. But no, I think we've had a good week apart from last Sunday.
Yeah, and speaking of post shows, the Slammiversary post show, I just got a message from the wonderful Astra Pizarro that our Slammiversary post show that just aired last night, 137 views from all you beautiful bastards out there. Absolutely. Love every single one of you. Thank you for tuning in. Keep those views coming. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Thumbs up this video and that video, notification bells, and support all of our contributors here at OLE. We got stuff going on outside of OLE, and we're all about sharing that love. So make sure you do that. And share some love with my good friend right there, a good friend of the channel as well, too, Mr. Basser. Happy Sunday, brother. How are you doing today? And yeah, it was Slammiversary. We're going to get to the football talk here very shortly, but Slammiversary, just a quick rundown. You should go check out the post show. I think we both were kind of in full agreement that it's not as good as it should have been, but not as bad as it could be, kind of thing. It happened.
Yeah, I think that was the right word to use. It happened. I think that was the right way to do it. I think TNA, they had the opportunity last night to fully look at what WWE now does under Triple H. And they look at what should be done. And what they did last night was, no, we just want to piss people off. Or we want more talking points instead of progressing the company. The one thing that I am worried about after last night is the storylines moving forward. And the other worry I have is them not having a proper TV deal where they can wrestle weekly live. I think that's one of the other worries I have for them. Because if I was WWE and I watched last night, I would go, oh, oh. You know what I mean? You've got superstars there that can be built and can be moved between brands. And it felt like last night they dug themselves into a hole, and now they're going to really struggle. They won't struggle to get out of it, but it's going to take a little few weeks to get out of what they've done.
Yeah, it's a fair assessment. Again, WWE is not totally without their O's.
No.
That happened many times over the decades. So, again, it's pro wrestling. They'll bounce back. They always do. Some people are happy. So it's I mean, this is our opinion. There's people around the world that were happy with some of the decision making last night. So if that's the case and that's your niche, good on you.
So the thing is, I look at WWE. So this is how I look at WWE, right? I look at the Hall of Famers and I go, legends. But then I look at WWE as in the Triple H era, right? I try to forget the bullshit that happened during Voldemort's era. I'm calling him that because I don't want a lawsuit and I don't want to mention his name. So he's from now on, we've got Hannah Montana and Voldemort all on OLE at this point now. We're crossing all kinds of worlds and realms at this point. So for me, it's very much of good morning, young squire. Hope you're doing well there.
Hello, it's Bobby Stat. Bobby, how are you doing?
Good. So I look at this as like the Triple H era. You start fresh. It's like with I tell you what, I'm going to compare it to another thing that I watched, Marigold, right? I'm going to compare it with Marigold just for the minute because Rossy Ogawa now has a partnership with Triple H. And we know this because of Io Sky going out there, Julia now coming over to WWE, plus others as well. WWE now have a partnership with Noah. The guy that wrestled AJ Styles will now be a special guest at SummerSlam. The legend in Japan, I can't remember his name, but I know that he will be coming over to be a special guest. And what an excellent match that was.
Don't worry, I give it with less than 2 minutes, and Bobby Stats has got you covered on who that opponent was.
Perfect. If you can let me know, that'd be perfect. But I look at that, and I look at the matches, and Marigold did much better matches than what TNA did. And TNA has a better partnership with WWE because they've got superstars floated for both brands. So I look at this and I go, TNA last night had the opportunity to put on an absolute banger, but they had too many matches that really didn't mean much. And then they decided what they could have done is really put on a load. I'm rambling at this point because I'm trying to find a point I'm getting to. But what I'm trying to say is this was last night, the chance for TNA to put on a banger and turn around to WWE and go, look, we want this partnership to work more. Look at what we did last night. Help us get a TV deal and we will make this partnership even bigger. You know what I mean? Not as in help like to do it, but you can go to Nick Khan and go, who are the people that we really need to be talking to for the brand we're at and what we need to do? But last night it just felt, if I was WWE, I'd go, to me, it's way too many matches that meant nothing to me last night. And the matches that did mean something, apart from two, the Rascals and the tag match, it all just felt a bit flat, in my opinion.
The X Division match again, I encourage everyone to go back and watch our post show from last night for more in depth. But the X Division match before the overstuffing of it was on its way to being one of the best matches.
Now, this comment I agree with. I'm going to help you out, Bobby.
Yeah,
because I know you were talking. So I agree with this massively. And I think if you're going to do something with the brands, women need to be, because WWE is now stacked with women. I mean, high quality women.
Yeah.
And now TNA have got quality, but they haven't got the high quality that they need for like a Jordan Grace, where WWE now does that they can help. And I think this is a perfect comment. The women's tag, because you've got Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, who are the champions. I would like to see Hannah Montana and her partner versus it's staying from now on versus the tag team champions. I would like to see Bianca Belair and Che Cargill swap over as well. That could be an interesting. That might help Che Cargill under a smaller crowd, lesser crowd, to try and get her confidence going. Because we all agree she's got the talent. It's just confidence with her at the moment.
At the same time, put her in front of that Montreal crowd, and they might wreck any confidence she might have had going in at the same time.
You've got to be careful with which crowd you put her in front of.
It's like we're supposedly nice people here in Canada, but put us inside of an arena for wrestling, especially, and we become the biggest jerks on the planet.
I've met you long enough now to know that Canadians are not nice people.
It's a fair assessment.
Do you know what's really annoyed me the most? Right. I hope we've got it on here. Right, hold on. That I couldn't play this last night. You guys don't even deserve the full of it because we didn't get to see it. I got this all prepared as well and everything. And by the way, if you haven't seen, please go and watch the post show. You won't be able to see it, but all you will need to know is when that music was playing, me, Bobby, and Astrid were all trying to do the clap exactly at the same time behind the scenes. And it took us 2 attempts to get it right. That's how tired we all were and what was happening. It was absolutely brilliant. Yes, we all believe in Joe Hendry, who should have won the championship last night.
We do believe in him. We just don't believe in bad booking. Oh, there we go.
Something MLW would do. Isn't that right, Bobby? Isn't that right, Bobby?
Sadly right. That's sadly right. Yeah.
Do you see how I teed you up there?
See how you teed me up. Yeah. As the cat's jumping all over me here. But yes, anyway, like we said, encourage you to go watch our post show that we did with Astrid there. Astrid did a wonderful job hosting that show, and you can get our full opinions from everything from the countdown show right into the actual full set card there as well too. So go check that out. That is available now on OLE. Well, Mark, bringing us to the main topic of the day, we are going to be talking about some football, soccer for those of you in North America who call it that. But there's transfers going on. There's games being played in preseason. We've got a regular season right around the corner for the English football folks. Let's talk a little bit about it. First of all, I want to give you the floor. What's going on over in Camp Reading? What positives, negatives, anything like that you can share? I take it there isn't much.
Hold on. A positive is we still have a club.
Okay.
And we still have players that can play football.
Okay. Those are two good positives.
Yeah. Now let's go on what the shit is happening. So we are apparently going to be taken over by a gentleman called Rob Corgi, whatever his name is. He was the former Wycombe Wanderers chairman and owner. He got bought out of it by a Georgian billionaire or Kazakhstani. I can't remember which one it was. He got bought out by them at the end of the season. He wanted to buy Reading Football Club's training ground, which then we were getting angry about, which there were protests that were happening because they were trying to prey on us losing out and they were trying to take things away from us that shouldn't be theirs. So what happened is he's left. He's now found a consortium, a group of people that want to buy a football club, and he's leading the charge now of looking at the finances and trying to get it over the line. Apparently, this should be taken over. What's the date today? 21st. It should be taken over by Friday or by next week. Now, Reading fans will know we have been in this position before where someone was close to buying the football club and just pulled out and didn't go through with it. The issue we're in now is we're at the stage where we're losing so much money a week that we have had to screw over the women's team. Our youth development's going to get interesting because we're a category 1. So I'm going to try and explain this in layman's terms or as easy as I can for people in America or Canada or wherever you watch this that don't understand what categories are. So in the English football pyramid, the pyramid is you start from the top, which is the Premier League. Then you've got the Championship, League One, League Two, then the National Leagues, and then further down there. I think there's 8 or 9 plus leagues that can go after it. The category 1s are teams with the best academies in the world, in England. So you've got the teams of Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. I said Liverpool, or did I not? I can't remember. The big clubs, right? But then Reading have always been a Category 1. Always. We've always produced the best players. And that's one of the best things. If you look at the Reading Football Club right now, at the end of the season, if I am correct, out of the 16 players you can name on the starting and the bench, 10 of them come from the academy.
That's
and
impressive.
yeah, we are very, very proud of our academy, and it's very expensive. And we're the only club that has a Category 1 outside of the Premier League. So for us to have this, and we're very proud in what we do and the youngsters we produce. Look at Michael Elise, if you know who he is. He went to Crystal Palace for 10 million, and he's just gone to Bayern Munich for 52 million pounds. Reading just got a big chunk of that as well, which has really helped us survive because we got a sell-on clause. Omar Richards, who is now Nottingham Forest, some of the best players you will see through Steve Sidwell, James Harper, Sonko. By the way, if you've ever got the chance, I applaud you all. Go onto Google and type in Ibrahim Sonko, Reading. The guy is 6'7", 6'5", 6'6".
Damn.
He could have been a professional. He could have gone on against Omos and won. Right? I've met him multiple times. One of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. But he had and we worked this out after he retired, that there was a challenge between him and the kit people. If he kicked the ball over the stadium, like full on volleyed it out, then they would do a bet on how long it would take for them to get it back, the ball back. There was a bet going on from it. So every game, at least one ball was volleyed out of the stadium. And he was the one who knocked out Carlo Curcini, which made John Terry go in goal in the Reading versus Chelsea game. But he's one of the nicest. It's just one of those things at the moment with Reading. We can't sign any players. I'm going to try and explain it in a different way. If you guys don't play Football Manager, this is how I explain it. If you own a football club and someone wants to buy it, they have to sign a contract of exclusivity, which means that the talks now between me, let's put it this way. If Bobby comes into my office and says, I want to buy Reading Football Club, I'll go, okay, you've got to sign this exclusivity and I need to see your earnings that you've got. He will then sign that and hand it over, which then gets handed off to the league. Then there will be a conversation between me and Bobby. I've got to remember, I've got to go the opposite way when I point because you're the other end, about how to finish off the monies, how the transactions are going to happen, where the monies lie, what's going to happen, the assets, all of this and all of that. Then you can't sign no one. You can't sign free agents, loanees. You can't bring any staff in. No staff can be sacked. Everything around the club ceases, bar being paid. Until that deal either collapses or goes forward, then nothing can be done. And that's where Reading are right now. We are the only club in the 92-team leagues, so the Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, that hasn't signed a player. The only club. Morecambe were in the same position as us. They then got new owners and re-signed and brought players, 15 players in within an hour.
Wow.
Because then the contracts went through, the new contracts went through, everything was submitted and done. And the players that were waiting to come in because of it signed all straight away.
Damn.
And that's exactly where Reading are right now. We've got players apparently in the line. Who knows what's going to happen? But that's where we are right now. I couldn't even do a Reading video on Wednesday like I normally do on my channel because there's nothing to discuss. There's nothing. There was no news. It was annoying me because I wanted to do something. And I was like, there's literally no news I can update because we're just sat in the middle of nowhere doing nothing. But that's where we are.
That's where you are. Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say normally most summers, especially the last few summers, Manchester United have been in a very similar situation of getting no business over the line until the very last minute and then paying absurd amounts of money for untested players. Now they're getting players over the line and still paying absurd amount of money for untested players. I will say this, the signing of Joshua Xerxes, I think the price, especially for going after a release clause, that's reasonable for what we get.
Yeah.
For what we get with Xerxes, I think that was a very reasonable deal on United's part. I know they're desperate for center backs, and I understand the desire for who we got for I'm gonna get his name wrong for a while here. I'm guaranteeing that. Lenny Euro. Sorry, I got to get used to that. So our new number 15, Lenny Euro, whose interest lied with Real Madrid. Real Madrid and Liverpool, I think, had both had interest in this 18-year-old under 21 footballer center back. And Manchester United came in apparently with something he couldn't refuse, money that obviously his club couldn't refuse. And the biggest reason that the money seems high now, I know players go for an absurd amount of money these days, but this is a center back. He's 18. He's not had enough appearances to really justify the large price tag, especially for someone with a year left on his contract. And I think that's where Real Madrid were sat with this whole thing, is they thought, year left on his contract, there's no way he's going to go sign with United. He's going to see it out. We'll be able to swoop in, take him from there. No, he had a Man United shirt on as of yesterday, the number 15, and made his debut for the club. And he was great. He's great. There's, he looks sharp out there. Same with a lot of the youth for United. We haven't seen Xerxes just yet. But United's going to have a very young squad going into this. I hope that they can continue to do business. We have sold Mason Greenwood, which I'm not going to get into the political side of right and wrong and where you sit on the Greenwood situation. I think if it weren't for their desperation to sell him, considering the publicity that comes along with Mason Greenwood, they could have asked a hell of a lot more for somebody who is a proven goal scorer as an attacker. But needless to say, they got it over the line and got a reasonable price for somebody that otherwise might have been in a situation where his contract got seen out and they got nothing for him, including playing time out on the pitch. So it's done. It's over. They've gotten rid of a couple of young defenders. Kimbwala went. Hernandez went. So we've got those ones over the line as well too. But now we've got more business to take care of, because if they want to continue to strengthen, they want to continue to go down this road, we've got to do business, because they're in this situation where the cost of the players, the amount they're being paid in wages, the amount we've spent on players previously, and Mark, you know this from watching football all your life, we're in that situation where we can't break financial fair play, and we are towing the line of financial fair play at Manchester United. So in order to lock more players in, we need to get more players out. And after the last two games, it's sad to say, but Casemiro needs to get stepping, because he is on old man legs at this point in time. He's damaged goods. I don't think that there's much left in the tank. So whatever we can get for him, we need to get that business over the line. Johnny Evans, they've extended a contract for him. He's there. I never was a massive Johnny Evans fan to begin with. I don't understand this business other than desperation of needing somebody, but yeah, that's about it. Onana was back in net yesterday. Why? I'm not a fan. I just, every once in a while, he comes up with a bit of brilliance, and then 90% of the game, he looks like a bumbling idiot for some reason. I really liked the debut of the keeper that we put in net on the opening day, even though he did get a goal scored on him. 22 years old, young, full of energy, and possibly a player for the future, and maybe in the not too distant future if Onana keeps blundering the way he does at times. So very interested to see where it goes from here. We've got the Tour of America coming up for Manchester United here very shortly. We got Arsenal next Saturday. After that, Real Betis on July the 31st. And then I believe we are up against Liverpool on August the 3rd to see out the rest of this preseason anyway. And then we roll into the regular season, Mark, and that's when things get interesting. That's when it always gets interesting, whether it's Premier League, Championship, Div 1, Div 2, across the board. We are going to see probably some teams that really shine that you didn't expect to shine. We're going to see teams that are going to struggle that you expected to shine. Football is unpredictable.
Yeah, if you look at Manchester United signings, Joshua Xerxes is someone that I am not sold on at all.
Fair. We needed something, though.
Yeah, I've seen him before when he used to play. I think he started off at Bayern Munich. Yeah, he did. He started off his career at Feyenoord, then went to Bayern Munich throughout his youth, went on loan to Parma, then stayed with, went to Anderlecht, was sold to Bologna for 27.5 million euros, and then went to Manchester United for 42.5 million euros. I'm not overly sold on him. Lenny Euro is one that I'm sold on.
Oh yeah,
and he's one of those players I look at and I go, if you look at his market value, right, according to transfermarket.co.uk, a year ago he was worth 3 million. He's had that good of a season for Lille, and that's not just because of the Man United interest. But I'm looking at the graphic here on my phone, which you can go and see online, where you can tell the amount of games he's playing with how high it was going. He was meant to have gone to the Olympics with France, but something happened and he didn't go with them. So now he's staying with. He will not be going to the Olympics anyway. So he will be staying in his first league game. Will be the 16th of August against Fulham. That's Manchester United's opening game of the season. Manchester United also linked with a central midfielder from PSG, Manuel Ugarte, 23 years of age. Good signing, age-wise, experience-wise. A player that's been around the Uruguayan international. He had 6 appearances in the whole of the Copa America and got 1 yellow card. But in his life, he was at Phoenix in Uruguay, then went to Portugal with Famalicão, where for 9 million euros. It was sold to Sporting Lisbon for 24.5 million euros, and then went to PSG for 60 million euros. He's someone who I look at and I go, he's constant. He's a consistent player. He's that defensive. This is the position Man United need. Mm-hmm. This is your Casemiro replacement.
Yep. 100%.
This is the Casemiro replacement. This is a player that will come in and do what he needs to do for Manchester United and do it. The thing with Manchester United is they're clever in the signings that they're sort of going for, but you're not getting rid of the players that you need to get rid of. Like, I love Harry Maguire. I absolutely love him. He needs to leave Man United because he
100%.
Needs to go somewhere else. Because I feel like if he went to like a West Ham or go to a place like Brighton, or I'm trying to think of clubs that are in the top half, Newcastle
Villa,
would be
somebody like that.
Villa, yeah, would be the perfect place for him, because no matter what happens, he will not be shit on all the time. He is a very good player. He is an outstanding defender. But if I look at I'm trying to go onto Ugarte's stats, but it's not letting me go. But if I go onto Manchester United's team, right, for the upcoming season, that's the transfers. Hold on, let me have a look at the squad. Here we go. Full squad details. I do love transfermarket.co.uk. It makes my life so much fucking easier. Right. So you've got 3 goalkeepers. You've got Onana, who will be number 1 and deserves to be. He was the goalkeeper who had the most amount of shots against him and the best save percentage in the league. If you put a defence in front of him, I think he will be very good. Altay Bandwi, the Turkish goalkeeper, I have him on FIFA, and he was really shit, so it's put me off him a little bit. But he's also could be Tom Heaton as well, 38 years of age. He's a bit like the Scott Carson for Man City. Will just be there if he needs to be there, and he's in the background. But then if you look at the centre backs, why is my screen freezing? There we go. If you look at the centre backs, you've got Lisandro Martinez, Lenny Euro, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Johnny Stones. Right? And I look at that and I go, Johnny Stones will either be a reserve or a sub. Victor Lindelof, I don't think he should be there.
They're looking to offload Lindelof and Maguire if they can anyway.
But then you'll need replacements because you've just sold the 19-year-old to Villarreal.
Mm-hmm.
When I don't understand that decision.
They tried to re-sign him. He had no interest. He did not want to stay.
That's fair enough. Luke Shaw, then your left back position is horrific. Luke Shaw, if he can stay fit.
After yesterday, there is some shining light. on the left back position. So Luke Shaw, because might not be able to stay fit. It's understandable. Malacia I've
He's
never
not
seen
fit.
enough to really care. And that's my problem. But the two young left backs yesterday both appeared for United and gave Ten Hag something to think about the youthful side of the left back position.
That's good. They need to do that. And Diego Dalot and Wan-Bissaka will be gone. I think if you've got a player, he's got a year left on his contract. I doubt he resigns, and they need to make money off that. Then in your midfield, you've got Casemiro, needs to be gone. You've got Kobe Manu, that needs to go to Reading. You've got Scott McTominay. I love him. Scott McTominay. Scott McTominay, I think, needs to be gone. Christian Eriksen, have him on the bench. Daniel Gore as well. You've got a youngster, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes needs to sort himself out of the shit. He can't be becoming the crybaby, whining baby that he's been doing on the pitch when things don't go. Mason Mount, this has to be his season to break out. Hannibal,
they've just said that they're open to selling Mount now after what they've seen.
After spending 50 million on a player that had a year left,
and
he's got 4 years left on his contract. You ain't getting. No one's going to buy him.
No,
you're going to have to. You're going to have to play him. Hannibal when Marcus Rashford needs to be sold and needs to go and play proper football somewhere else. Garnacho will stay. Sancho needs to stay and needs to play. He's the best winger you've got, along with Amad Diallo. Amad Diallo.
He's one of our goal scorers yesterday.
Against Rangers, bastards. We fucking love Rangers. Anthony needs to be sold. So the question you've got Manchester United now is you've got two left wingers in Garnacho and Sancho. I would say that you would get Garnacho in the middle behind the striker where he can float around and do what he needs to do. Let Sancho play on the wing with Amad Diallo on the right. And then who are you going to pick up front? Rasmus Højlund, who you spend a absolute shit ton of money on, or Joshua Zirkzee, who hasn't come to this club to sit on the bench. You're not going to rotate. You can't rotate strikers.
I think they are going to rotate. That's the thing. Again, because last year it was so tough because Rasmus was having to put in a lot of work because he was the only reliable forward because let's not kid ourselves, Martial, every time that a blade of grass touched the side of his leg, he got a broken knee or broken leg or some sort of illness from it. So a lot was put on Rasmus Højlund for a young guy. And considering he came into the club in the situation they are, before I continue on with that, good morning, Ed. Asking if Mark's recovered yet. Sort of. Enough.
Enough to do this.
I think the whole message right now is that Xerxes coming in to provide not only backup, but also competition in the position. I think Ten Hag has also mentioned that he's not outside the realm of possibility of adjusting the lineup to have a situation where Rasmus and Xerxes could be on the pitch at the same time as well, too, especially with the thought that, again, Bruno either needs to figure himself out or get the hell out is the problem. And Bruno's also getting to that age. While he's a solid player when he wants to be, he's also getting to that age where he's too old for Man United's new vision. Although I say that as they're talking about signing Adrian Rabiot because he's a free agent. But I don't know. I think I would rotate at times. I would maybe try them together at times too, depending on what the thing is. I don't mind your idea of Garnacho being able to swing in behind the striker and stuff like that. That's not a bad idea. Diallo, I think you need to start pulling the trigger a little bit more on the right side of things. It's not going to happen. Motherfucker's going to play Anthony. I know he is. Ten Hag said it. He goes, he's just in his own head. We'll get him out of it. I know the quality player he is. No, he hasn't done anything to change his style, and his style's been figured out by everybody in the league, and then some. Unless he's been spending the last several months in some sort of special training that he's put himself through in order to regain something that wasn't there in the first place. No, this is a total loss for us. We need to get what we can get out of him if we can get anything at all because we paid a stupid price for him. He's never going to get it. I think Diallo should be starting over Anthony any day of the week. I think so. I'm glad that the hatchet's been buried with Sancho as far as I know right now between him and Ten Hag I hope this means we're going to see Sancho playing because, God damn it, if he plays and he's given that opportunity where not everything is put on him, I think he's not wrong. He's been a fucking scapegoat. That's the thing. We had a bad game. Let's blame Jadon Sancho because we spent a lot of money on him. No, why don't we blame the lackluster performance on the pitch as a whole, or the lack of proper direction from the manager who hasn't quite figured out his playing style in 2 seasons so far? Again, I'm glad we kept faith that Ten Hag might turn this around, but I also do think that he's got about 6 months left on the job to prove it. Otherwise, he's going to be hightailing it, and they're going to bring in somebody with a little bit more focus on a style and get these players going. I think the plus side to the youth coming into Manchester United as well, too, you don't have as much for the egos yet because they haven't developed those egos. So they're not feeling they're bigger than the club. They're not there to save the club, so they don't have that chip on their shoulder. So I feel that there's a great opportunity to mold the youthful players into a very dominant, strong team. I don't think it's going to happen this season. And that's the thing. People, if you're a Manchester United supporter, you already got to get out of the mindset that everything's going to go perfectly. This is going to be a very youthful team. They're going to have some slip-ups at times. But what we need to do is we need to see progression. If that progression is seen and we see things start to go in the right direction, then perfect. Continue to go down this path. Otherwise, they will need to do a reevaluation at some point.
Can I quickly just change? You can stay on football, but there's a football club I want to talk about.
Yep.
And it's Como in Italy. Now, if you know nothing about Italian football, I'm going to explain why I want to talk about it. They're currently being managed by a former Premier League winner in Cesc Fabregas.
Nice.
And I've seen the players they've been linked with, and I'm wondering how they're doing this, right? So I had a look about them, right? And the owner of Como is owned by Indonesia's wealthiest family, the Hotono family, which owns Bank Central Asia, and the giant cigarette giant Drum has significant strides in Italian football. Como is 112 years of age, right? And listen to these signings, okay? So they've signed Pepe Reina, the former Liverpool goalkeeper. They signed Alberto Moreno, the former Liverpool left-back.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Ben Lassi Kone, central midfielder from Torino. And I mean, this team has recently just been promoted from Serie B to Serie A, right? This is the first time in their history I think they've been in Serie A. And then they've got Andrea Bellotti, by the way, one of the biggest names in Italian football, one of the legends of Italian strikers in Italian football, not for the national team. They're signing Rafael Varane from Manchester United on a free. And apparently they're looking at bringing in Anthony Martial.
Wow.
Like, how big of a pull is this team?
Yeah. Just one second on that thought, though, is Philip Bidwell joining us here and saying, as a rival, Sancho flopped at United. I believe Sancho wasn't given proper chances at United. I think he was also backed up by a very broken Manchester United team. So I think that maybe new life at Manchester United and new opportunity where we get Sancho out there week by week. I hope it'll turn around because Sancho, when he plays everywhere else, is fucking fantastic. So sorry to interrupt you there, Mark. But
Philip, if I see by your profile pic, you're a Liverpool fan. If I'm right by that, let me know if I'm wrong in the comment. But if you're still here, can I ask what the fuck is going on at Liverpool? You guys haven't made a single signing. You've got a new manager. You've got Van Dijk that has apparently given a green light to go to Saudi Arabia. You've got Mohamed Salah that's apparently given a green light to go to Saudi Arabia. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's in the last year of his contract and has nearly given a green light to go to Real Madrid. What are you going to buy anyone? Because at this precise moment, you're not top four because Newcastle have made better signings. Chelsea are going on a Brazilian wonder kid tour of just going down to South America and stealing them all up. I have never seen a team that has gone to one nation and just gobbling all of the wonder kids up for like the future. Never seen it. It's like me on Football Manager. Literally, if I have a personal save, I will directly go to South America and buy them all because they're cheap and they're brilliant, and then they get expensive later on. I don't know what's going on. So you are a Liverpool fan. Okay. So Philip, I've got a question for you as well for the comment. Realistically, where do you see yourself at this precise moment finishing? Realistically, for me, I'm going by signings, the team. Man City, Arsenal, United, Newcastle. No, I think Chelsea will be back. So I'm going to switch United and Chelsea at the moment because the United team hasn't done enough for me to think that they'll get Champions League football. So I'm going to go Chelsea third because of their manager. And then I'm going to go Newcastle fourth. And I think United will be fifth. Actually, Aston Villa are there as well.
See, I was hoping. Right. I'm hoping fifth for United. I'd be happy with the fifth place.
I'm changing that now. Aston Villa will finish fifth or fourth. It'll be between them. And then United will finish sixth because they haven't got the squad for it at the moment. Their signings haven't propelled them further up from where they need to be. And then I don't know the rest. I don't. And then I see Liverpool seventh, I think, at the moment. I would see sixth, seventh. It'd be between Liverpool and Man United for sixth, seventh at the moment. I just don't see what's going to happen. You haven't got the depth, Liverpool. You haven't got this is going to be a transition year for Liverpool. This is going to have to be a transition year. And that's the struggle that they're going to have because Arne Slot's going to come in with his ideas, which will be completely different. Not totally different, but it is different to Jurgen Klopp's. And Liverpool players are going to have to get used to it. That's where I'm at right now. I think Newcastle signings, if Newcastle get a proper backup striker, maybe a centre-back and a central midfielder, I see them top four. They've also made changes to their backroom. PIF, the Saudi government, whoever runs that for the Saudi government, have now taken more control of the club, which is good news for Newcastle because more money will be spent. A lot more money. Not on players, but infrastructure. And I'm interested to see what happens there. Because I do feel like if Newcastle play their hands right. Also, Eddie Howe might not even be their manager because he could be England manager because Gareth Southgate's now said he's leaving. We could be having him.
They'll switch jobs.
Yeah. Have you seen about Graham Potter talking about why he's not really taking jobs? He's still getting paid £200,000 a week from Chelsea, and he will still be paid that until October. I think it is until October. He would. So, to be fair, if I was Graham Potter, I wouldn't be doing anything because you would have to give up that $200,000 a week from it. Mental.
Just sit back and enjoy. Why the hell not?
Okay, then let's go on the England chat. Let's get to it. Let me cry a little bit.
Okay.
We're not going to talk about the game because I've had enough of talking about that.
We've had enough heartbreak.
Yeah, I can't. Next England manager, who would you have? Top 3 picks. And while you do that, I'm going to go on the betting site to see the weird ass names that's on the betting sites.
Jesus, oh man, you're putting me on the spot here.
I know who my number 1 is. And I think it's an easy number 1.
I mean, damn, man. Like, Eddie Howe might not be a bad pick, but Pochettino, when he's firing right, be all right. But oh man, I'm gonna say Eddie Howe for my top. I think.
You want to hear some of the names on this list? It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
I don't know. It's hard to pick. Like, I think I'd rather just see it be someone like Eddie Howe as opposed to just what the other options are out there. And again, I don't know who they're
I think I know where England.
Granted, like, did Jurgen Klopp take a position after leaving Liverpool yet? But
no, he said he's having time away.
As much as the English probably would have never once upon a time wanted a German leading the helm, Jurgen Klopp's a genius at football. Like, I would be happy to see him take over in that kind of position. So I'll throw it out there. Damn it, let's put him on my list there. I'm just giving you the two. I really can't come up with anything else.
Okay, so before I give my top three, here's some of the options that Sky Bet have put on there that you can bet on for the next England manager.
Okay.
You got Mikel Arteta at 150 to 1. Gary Neville is there as well with Alan Shearer. Zidane is 100 to 1. This is when it gets more funny, by the way. David Beckham is 100 to 1.
What?
Yeah.
I love Beckham, but Jesus Christ, he doesn't manage.
No, Marcel Bielsa is 80 to 1. Carlo Ancelotti is 80 to 1. Thomas Frank is there. Oh, Emma Hayes, the former Chelsea manager, now the America manager, is 66 to 1, the women's manager.
Okay.
Serena Wiegman, who is the current England women's manager, is 50 to 1. Steven Gerrard's there, Gary O'Neill, Thomas Tuchel's 33 to 1, Michael Carrick, Ange Postecoglou, Lee Carsley, who's the current England under-21s manager, Graham Potter and Eddie Howe. Now, I'm going to pick my top three who I would like to see in the top three, okay? And then I'll say my number one out of all of them. I want it to be Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, or Graham Potter.
Jesus, if Pep was an option, yeah, sure. I'm with you on that too.
Pep wants to manage an international team, but he will not manage the Spanish team because of it's Spain has Basque and Catalunias. Google it. It is a very long story about why they don't like. Barcelona is a Catalunya. Everyone else is a Basque. I think that's the right way to put it. Or there's other parts of Basque and Catalunya. And because Pep Guardiola is a Catalunya, he will not manage the Spanish national team because of their views of Catalunias. Pep wants to manage. Pep loves England. I think what they're going to do is they're going to start having conversations with Pep because his contract runs out at the end of next season. I think conversations will happen where there will be a temporary manager in charge of England to guide through the World Cup qualifiers for Pep to take over for the World Cup in America and the Euros after that. I think that's what they're going to do. And I think what they're then going to do is keep Pep on as like the master behind everything, because the way that he does with youth academies and stuff like that, like what he did with the Barcelona youth and what he's currently doing with the Manchester City youth. And I think if you get someone like I'm going to call him like the Overlord, that will be able to mould English football into winners. Because there's an advert out. There's an advert somewhere where the English FA have put an advert out for you to apply to be England manager. Now, I am very tempted to show my football manager credentials of why I should be put in charge of England up until the World Cup, until Pep Guardiola is free, then I will do it. But
do you have your certifications then?
I have one. I have my level one. I have got a coaching badge. Yeah. I have got I should have done more when I was doing them because I was going through them. But then work and all of that took over, and I just didn't do it. But I do have some. I have some badges.
I know here in Canada, I am certified up to the level of being able to coach anything but a semi-pro team.
Yeah,
basically. So any age groups, any whatever, I can coach across the country and stuff like that. I know my brother has that certification, maybe a little bit higher than that certification here, where he can coach semi-pro, and he actually has his level 2 in England.
Oh yeah,
as well too. So,
yeah. That's just one above me. Yeah, I can coach any group. I can coach anywhere I want. But there has to be a plan. If I go to a football club, there has to be a plan in place for when I sign for me to get my coaching badges while I'm at that club. Yeah. That's what it is. But yeah, I'll do it. You get fined as well. I think it's about 30 grand a match because Will Steele, who's the English guy that's in France, managed a French team and he didn't have his full qualifications. And the French team had to pay 30 grand a game that he managed so that he can be on the pitch to manage the team because he didn't have his full qualifications. And England are now taking wickets. And I've looked around and we've taken 3 wickets in the space of 5 minutes. But yeah, no. So I think that's where it's going to go. I think it would be an English manager. It would be Eddie or Potter. I think it'd be between those two if it's going to be an Englishman. But if they're going to go, because one of the requirements in the advert for you to get the job was you have to win trophies. And if you're going with that, Pep Guardiola. I did see a funny tweet the other day that says, "You lot wishing for Pep Guardiola, but wait until he has a moment of madness and plays Pickford as a false nine." Literally made me laugh hearing Pickford as a false nine. He would literally, I think he would do that for a game just for banter. I could just see it, but no, that's what I think.
You know, maybe that's what England's always needed, is someone that dares to be different and stuff like that, but also knows what he wants to do. That's the thing. Pep Guardiola has a mission. He understands what he needs to do with youth. That's the thing. England is a youthful squad. Somebody like Pep Guardiola molding those young minds into the type of ticky-tacky play that he can perform and the kind of stuff like that. Damn, it might just be what England needs to become that much more dangerous, so that we don't have these tie games that go into overtime, or we don't have these close calls. England, with the quality of players that are out there right now, should be able to put the ball in the back of the net more frequently than what they did at the Euros.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you get Pep Guardiola in charge, and I think that will help Trent as well a lot more, because if you remember, Kyle Walker's, I think this will probably be Kyle Walker's last tournament. But if you're going to play Trent, you need him to be more inverted winger, and that can also go down the line. And you haven't really got to worry about defensive, because if you have that defensive midfielder that can sit like what Rodri does, then it makes your life of everything else easier. And I think the high press, high intensity, keep teams back in their own half of the pitch and struggle to get out is exactly what the style of play this English players need. And I think that's exactly what we need from him. But who knows at this point? I have no clue how this is going to go. But they're not going to rush. I don't think they're going to rush with this.
No, and so they shouldn't. I mean, we do have World Cup coming up in 2026, but I'm pretty sure that we should fare fairly well going into that. My only I pray that there's a slim chance that England get put in the same group stage as Canada, and that one of those games gets played in Vancouver, because that is not very far from me. And so it would be the first opportunity I'd ever get to not only see the England national team play, but the Canadian national team play as well, and be able to see it in a World Cup setting. I would be ecstatic. I swear I'm going to go anyway, regardless, because Canada is playing two matches in Vancouver. So,
yeah, I think I might. I am very much thinking about whether I want to go or not. But I think if it's in Canada, I'm going. If it's in America,
it's
I saw the Copa America.
It's North America, so it's going Canada, US, and Mexico.
Mexico, yeah. Mexico scares the hell out of me. Scares the hell out of me. Mexico does. America, after the Copa America, scares me. All the stuff that happened with that, players having to fight fans to get their family safe, that was mental. But Canada just seems like something that I'll enjoy, and I've always wanted to go to Canada, so I might do it. It all depends. Well, but also the next Euros is in England.
Oh, awesome! That's good too.
It's England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland, not UK and Ireland. So it's England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Republic of Ireland, where all the games are going to be played. So
if I ever get my passport renewed, maybe that's the time I'll finally come back to visit family, and then I can go to a game with you as well too. So that would be
absolutely.
Absolutely. While Vancouver might not be the nicest city in BC, the best part is they're not very far from some of the nicest cities in Canada in general, because all you got to do is hop the it's a ferry. Basically, you hop the ferry across the ocean to the island just beside British Columbia, and you've got places like Kelowna, Tofino, places like that are absolutely just gorgeous down by the ocean and everything like that. It's a really nice experience to be able to go down there. So while the games take place in Vancouver, it's very easy to just hop that boat across the ocean to the most beautiful part of our entire country, pretty much. So it's going to be worth it. Plus, I've got my brother-in-law lives over down on the island as well too, and stuff like that. Haven't been to visit him for a while, so it'd be perfect. Be bringing the wife with me and get an opportunity to go visit family and catch some games. Why the hell not? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But with that said, Mark, we're kind of coming to the top of the hour here, and I think let everybody get on with their Sundays. I know you've put in all the extra work here this weekend with staying up late, so time for some rest. How about? But let the people know what you got going on and where they can find you.
Well, I can announce something that I will be doing on this channel, and I don't know the time yet. The timing is the discussion's happening. But Saturday, the 3rd of August, not April, gone past that, 3rd of August will be Mark Sits Down with OLE. I haven't worked out the proper title with it yet. That was a real big mouthful, that one. Basically, what my plan is I'm going to be interviewing a member from OLE every single week, or as much as I can. But I will be going through every single member of our local establishment, and it will not be serious. I'm going to put this out here now. If you've seen my style of interviewing before, I do a little bit of research, but I don't care. What I do is I sit down, we have an open, frank discussion about a lot of things. We have a lot of laughs, we play some games, and then I try and make it as awkward as hell near the end to try and get some juice. That's basically what I do. But there is another thing I want to announce tonight. Tonight, okay, I've got to work American time. 3 p.m. Eastern will be my very first ever sketch video that I've done for WWE 2K24. We're coming near the end of WWE 2K24 Season 2, and we're going to be making some changes. So I decided to have a bit of a fun video and do like a vlog type of me going around the world and getting deals done. We had to go to America. We had to go to LA, part of America. Had to go to Florida. We went to Japan. We had to then go to, see that stare? You can probably clock where I'm going in Japan for a reason. And then I went to 10 Downing Street. Yeah, that happened. Make sure you check that out. Yes, and that will be happening tonight. And it's ECW that's coming out this week, isn't it? Yeah.
That is, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Jesus, I turn into Lauren then, forgetting everything. Yeah, we've got ECW coming up, and then we're building very soon to the Royal Rumble, where me, Bobby, and Lauren will be sitting down together, and we will be commentating on the Royal Rumble matches. Right.
Well, it's going to
behind the curtain. I'm going to open the curtain here. I will already know the winner. These two will not. Lauren and Bobby will not know who the winner is. So when it gets down to the final 3, I'm going to be very quiet of what's going to happen. So Mark Talks Football. I'm currently in Japan doing Football Manager, and we're trying to win the league and win the Asian Champions League. Now, Bobby, you will find this hilarious. I had a look at the Asian Champions League and didn't realise, because I'm an idiot, that the Saudi Arabian teams are in it. They've won 4 of the last 5 Champions League. And then I looked at their manager. Roberto Mancini's there. Van Dijk, Jack Grealish, Raheem Sterling. They've got some of the best. I'm sitting there going, what? I've got 17-year-olds that I've just promoted through the Japanese bloody youth academy. And I might have to, but that will be coming out for you very soon. So make sure you check that out. And Mark Talks Gaming will be the final week this week of EAFC 24, Reading FC Save. A very, very angry ending. Make sure you check it out on that. And then we're starting Formula 1, Manager 24, and GTA 5, the story mode. We're going through the story mode again. I haven't played the full story mode in about 5 years, 6 years, I think, maybe plus. So, and I remember there's a few things I might need to cut out. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to play it. Love GTA. So yeah, a lot's going on, especially with the interviewing. I'm actually really excited for that.
That's going to be a great series, of course. I'm looking forward to it as well, too. I'm looking forward to down the road being one of the ones that sits down with you. As for where you can find myself, I am Bobby Munson, at Real Bobby Munson over on the X, on Instagram and Threads. It's at Video Bros SK, and on Twitch, Video Bro _ Bobby Munson. Where can you find me? What do I got going on? I've got a lot of recording to do today because I got movie reviews coming out this week. I've got all sorts of music reactions on the channel that you should be checking out. Thursday nights, I am here with Papa Smokes talking all things independent wrestling and of course, our local Prairie Pro Wrestling, as well as taking you on a trip through the territories, which what we did on Thursday night. We went down to Kansas City with the CWF. So check that, CWS, something like that. Anyway, CW something. I forgot already. That's how drunk I was this weekend. But anyway, that's where you can find me on Thursday nights. You can find me on Saturday afternoons over at Prairie Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel for Prairie Pro Wrestling matches every single Saturday. And then, of course, back here Sundays on Point of View with Mark, who's going to be joining me as a regular now. So glad to have a co-host here on the show with me. It's wonderful. It's been great. I appreciate it. And then as for where we are at OLE Podcasts over on the X. We are OLE Podcasts, Instagram and Threads, YouTube and Twitch at Our Local Establishment. Same with over on the Facebook and Twitch, our TikTok side. Our TikTok's been rocking and rolling. Check that out. If you were watching on Twitch, we love subs, but follows are very much appreciated. Over on YouTube, of course, thumbs up this video. Turn on the notification bell and subscribe. Make sure to leave us a comment in the comment section. I'm always browsing those comments. I will get back to you. Let's talk about anything you want to talk about, whether it be football, wrestling, pop culture in general. Let's rock and roll. Let's talk. But that's all I got. Mark, anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
I will be here on Our Local Establishment next Saturday coming up, with Ed and Andre talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm going to see that Thursday. I'm so excited. So excited. Kevin Hart, love that man. So I'm very excited for that. Really looking forward to it. And I think we're doing something as well after talking about Hall H from Comic-Con. That will be coming out. I think me, Ed, and Andre will be sitting down and discussing all of the stuff that's coming out of the hall and all of the stuff that's been said in there. So it's going to be a good time. A little bit of Marvel stuff as well. And excited to watch it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well, too. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing the movie prior to your guys' show, so I will only be able to watch the first couple of minutes before having to bow out and watch it later on, which, again, that's the plus side of YouTube. It's always there for you. Check out all the content that we've got here at our local establishment. And Mark and I will see you in a week's time. See you next Sunday. Take care, everybody.